Hey there everybody, welcome back to Kharak Cup number 8. We're going to jump right back into round number 3 here with a match between myself and Sparrow, the Korean monster. The double PC rusher, we all know it. I have a confession to make. At this point I was like, you know, it's the shallows. I think Sparrow's just, I don't think he's gonna, like, I don't think he's, I either, oh my gosh, I either don't think he's gonna rush or I don't think he's gonna be able to rush. So I'm just gonna go eco. And looking back on it, that was kind of a silly idea. But, you know, we'll see how this game goes. No spoilers. Anyhow, as you can see, you know, double salvager being made from both of these particular places. And you know what? Actually, Descara was saying that going like greed against the double production cruiser push is not a bad way to go. That you can actually usually get quite a lot of like defensive value out of that because you'll have railguns like faster if you just make that second production cruiser or something like that. I'm not totally sure about it for Galzian because they have to make another production cruiser and get refinery mode before they could really benefit from it. But I do agree having the 4 salvagers here is not a bad opener against this, so we'll have to see. But you notice that when Sparrow does this build, he actually does prioritize getting salvagers on that long distance location, so it'd be difficult to have a stronger eco than him. Mostly, how do you say? I don't really know. Sometimes I ramble. Have you noticed all these little triangles, by the way? I wonder what those things are. They're much more noticeable on Sparrow's units. But you know, mine have them too, of course. Just the lighter your colors are, the more noticeable the little like decals and lines and stuff on the carrier are. The less noticeable the Galzian logo seems to be, though. I like how his colors are just white. That's pretty cool. So, what's going on here? Sparrow gonna go for railgun fabrication right now. And that second production cruiser is just finished, so this is rush time. He's gonna start heading out there. I'm going for railgun fabrication as well, pretty much at the same time, but I'm getting refinery mode instead. And I only have 1 production cruiser, so my production is clearly gonna be lower. And that's really the danger here, because he's got 2 production cruisers, he can do so much damage, you know what I mean? So many units could be popping out and whatever. It's really difficult to hold it off. Gonna have my base runner just skip this artifact, try to go for that one and see if I can take that one instead. Again, thinking he's going for sort of a normal build here. When I see the 3 sand skimmers, I choose to back away, probably just because I feel like I'm gonna take too much damage on that run. Healing gets popped here, so I can try to save one of my sand skimmers. And the initial fight is going pretty well. This base runner definitely wants to try to extract as fast as possible, though. Armor 1 gonna come out for my sand skimmers, but I think in reality, really what I need to be doing here is saving everything I can get to get some, to get another production cruiser. And why is that? Because I know it's Sparrow. I mean, I know he's gonna do this. I really think in my mind I kind of convinced myself that wasn't gonna happen because it was the shallows or something, but that's kind of silly. I mean, he's Sparrow. That's all he does. So, yes. Early fight's going just fine for me right here, but railguns are about to come out, and it's actually 2 heavies, which is a curious choice, seeing as I'm kind of winning the strikecraft war here, but it's going to do very well against this assault railgun that I've got. I've seen the double production cruiser, I know that that's coming out here. Power Reserve 1 researched immediately, and I should be getting another production cruiser. Yep, there it is. That's what you want to do to respond to this, but I really think I should have done it faster. So my scanner here is just going to allow me to see exactly what I'm up against. It's 2 heavy railguns, 2 production cruisers. I'm going to get heavies of my own. That's got to be the choice. There's no other way to really hold off against those, unless he can get like a really overwhelming sand skimmer majority, but I can't, right? He's got 2 production cruisers, I've got 1. So I'm going to go for some heavy railguns here. I'm going to see how long I can tank the damage on my carrier, but it's not going to be too long. You will eventually just lose your carrier here, you know what I mean? But it has held him at bay for now, so that's good. And it takes him a lot of time before he can really push it off. Then I can put up the speed and the self-repairs, head back home, and I'll be safe pretty much there. Wow, that was pretty lucky. You see that the railguns just got like 2 hits on the same salvager and killed it. Anyhow, the idea here is that I'm having to move my carrier back anyway, and by the time it's by the time these railguns get back there, it's going to be at full health anyway. This here, very good for me. I managed to take out both of his heavy railguns with my heavy railguns. However, I'm going to lose a production cruiser here now. And the weapons are powered up on my carrier, but I'm still taking losses to these sand skimmers here. And they also are in a good position to attack the heavy rails. Also, 2 heavy rails popped out of his production cruisers, got that first shot advantage, and they were able to take out one of my heavies. I do, however, have this attack coming in on this side, and Sparrow's not seen this yet. Banzai! Here I am. So I'm going to try to pincer him there. The railguns go down. Here I come in with my army over here on this side. It's actually looking, I think, really good at this point. I need to make another production cruiser, and that was really quite bitter to have lost that. It's kind of a case, I think, of having my carrier too far forward. But I've held off the rush. I'm okay. It's just that this is Sparrow we're talking about. He's going to come back. You know he is. He does not stop rushing until you or he is dead. And his economy is actually better right now, not worse. So, me having refinery mode doesn't really help me here. I need to find a way to get an advantage over him. And I've got to do it quick, too. Got 2 heavies up here on that high ground position. Should be pretty good. And you notice Sparrow not over-investing into railguns. He just has exactly as much as he needs, I feel. Is there a line of sight to these now? There is. Ooh, I need to be attacking those. And they've got high ground too. No, on this assault railgun. Okay, I was gonna say like, oh. But I take out another railgun of his now. This assault railgun needs to be careful. Railgun armor 2 on the way for me. That's gonna be very good. Double production cruiser is out, and this time they're not just gonna die instantly, and I am on my second base. I'm feeling kind of good about this now. More power has been given to me. I'm not sure. Yeah, I got power reserve 2, so I could probably put that in healing, get healed up a little faster here. This could be a little bad. He has a big force of skimmers now, and these guys are just like chilling back at home. I've kind of forgotten about them. I'm still winning the railgun fights pretty consistently here, which is very, very nice for me, and that's essential. And at this point, my eco is better than his, but I need to watch out. He's got so many strike craft, it's difficult. And there's also a lot of high ground positions you can get along that rim there, which is going to make things a little difficult for me. For example, this railgun up here just took out my assault railgun, which had been very nice to me up until that point, so I'm kind of tilted now. And he's going to get assault ship tech, and this is actually something that I've noticed that Sparrow does, is that he tries to transition into different types of units during his rush, which is really pretty unique. And in this case, it seems to be quite effective too. Suddenly my army is very out of position, and looking at things now, it's like painfully obvious to me that that production cruiser just had to be there, but I've just lost 2 production cruisers already. I mean, this is not going particularly well, and the assault ship is out there, so I can't leverage any kind of strike craft advantage. Sparrow and I are equal in upgrades for those strike craft anyway. Assault railguns are nice, but they're not really going to cut it in this particular setup. And this is beginning to look like it's going to have to be Sparrow's game here. Probably I needed more heavies and more sand skimmers rather than going for these assault railguns here, because these things make very nice targets. And now the assault railgun's getting picked off, like I said. And there really just is nothing left for me to defend against this, and Sparrow's army seems to be coming out on top of this fight here. Such a unique style that Sparrow has, and he's so good at it too. You know, it's not that many people who can pull this kind of stuff off. So my carrier just gonna go for it over here. I'm getting power reserve 3, and my thought here is like, well, there's one thing that I have, which is power reserves. So maybe, just maybe, if I can do something funny here with like power reserves, I can perhaps try to escape. But, I mean, I don't know. Do you think this is likely? Another production cruiser, by the way, about to come out there. That's obviously going to be for naught, so I just choose to cancel that one instead. should really, yeah, power up the healing. There you go. You know, it's true, I can do some eco damage to Sparrow now, but all he's got to do is get, like, Power Reserve 1. He's going for Interceptor Fabrication. Never seen him make air units before. No, that's not true, I have. In the best of 7 with A game, he made quite a lot of air, actually. You can see that heavy railguns are actually able to trade effectively when they're up on this high ground position. Like, high ground is so important in railgun fights. It's quite important in most fights, but in railgun fights it is, like, really, really important, you know what I mean? Anyhow, Sparrow's gonna be happy with how much of a dent he's put in my carrier already. I shouldn't be able to really get anything done here. By the time I would be threatening really killing it... I've killed all his railguns, what the heck? Not really sure how that happened. But yeah, by the time I could really get to actually threatening his carrier, he'll be able to get power reserves, he'll be able to get more railguns in the area, so he'll be fine. The thing is, like, it's kind of true we can go for a base trade scenario at this point, but Sparrow can just leave. It's very difficult to catch a carrier when you're at this low power. So, like, I'm not going to be able to stop him. He'll just be able to walk over in this direction and there's 2 heavy railguns, and that is enough to tilt the fight, I think, at this low power level. I'm also going for salvagers first here because I'm trying to equalize the economy. I know that if I let him just have whatever economy he wants, he'll end up on top. Trying to keep these guys alive the best I can, but the assault ships have found them, so they're probably dead. Isn't this a funny idea, though? But I don't think there was ever really any chance that this kind of thing would work. I'm not SSSS after all. Production cruiser also getting backed up into the corner. That should really just be the end, and I think it's around here that I choose to surrender. So well done, Sparrow. That double production cruiser poke is really, really scary. You know, you've got to be ready for it, and if you're not ready, you die. You know what I mean? And in this case, I really just wasn't ready. Production cruiser got killed really sillily. Sillily, is that a word? I could have, you know, gotten my carrier back earlier and then made that without losing it. Second one got lost too, when really all it had to do was just mine over here instead of over there. And I think either of those two things would have given me a pretty good fighting chance in this game. Both of them going my way would have probably caused me to win. But I was very sloppy. So Sparrow gonna enjoy this win here. He's now gonna go up to face Descara in round 4, as they are both undefeated, the only ones so far. Nicely done, my man. Nicely done.